And now, your official TigerBait live show with Mike Scarborough and Buddy Songy starts now.
All right, everybody, welcome in another edition of TigerBait Live. I think we're going to have a pretty positive show tonight. Is it at 7:30, 35 minutes ago, LSU picked up a defensive tackle commitment, much needed, a point that we've been belaboring for months and months and months. Jay'Viar Suggs, Grand Valley State commits to LSU. We can discuss that. LSU baseball, basketball recruiting, anything you guys want to discuss. You guys drive the show. And always, we're brought to you by our title sponsor, Pride Roofing. We'll talk about Mike and Alex a little bit later in the show. But welcome in, buddy.
Good to see you, Mike Scarborough. I told Mike, I gave him a little scoop this afternoon. I said, look, I saw Jay Suggs over at Wendy's when he was on his visit. Now, he went to Supper Club and all the other great restaurants in Baton Rouge. But, of course, Mike has been pushing the T-shirt, where's the beat? And before you go crazy one way or another, let's just say it. Nobody knows how he's going to fit, but he is a body. Gio Paez is a guy that they signed, of course, from Wisconsin, 6'3", 310, a grad transfer. He's going to be in the mix as a body. Jacoby and Gilroy's got to get in the best shape of his life. This is his money year. Obviously, Sean Washington and others. Dominic McKinley telling people he's already over 310, 315 is that good weight. But at least for now, from a perception standpoint, it is good to get somebody because, Mike, how long has it been since LSU had this kind of football recruiting news? Seems like it's been a good 2-3 weeks or whatever. And so, but once again, don't jump to conclusions. We're a long way from getting this piece to the puzzle finished, and we'll see how it plays out. But good news, of course, must win this weekend out at the box. If you care about your Tigers, get out there and support them. Thursday, once again, this week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Next week, Tuesday, the SEC tournament. So we'll see if that affects our show next Wednesday night when they're playing, if they're going to play and all that. But hope everybody doing well, and I hope especially all the mothers and grandmothers got taken care of this past Sunday.
Absolutely. It's a big pickup, and you mentioned LSU baseball. We're out there earlier today talking to Jay Johnson, Braswell, engaged jump. Got to win all three. They've got to sweep Ole Miss. Heartbreak Friday night against Alabama. And what a difference had they won that game. Maybe have a little bit of breathing room, not needing to sweep, something they haven't done all season. And Ole Miss is playing good baseball. And so it's going to be a pretty tall order. And if you only win 2 out of 3, or you think you're going to have to make a run or win the SEC tournament, then you'd have to turn around and play on Tuesday. And how does your pitching line up for that? So it's just been one of those kind of seasons. I think there's a lot of LSU fans that are just, it is what it is. They've written it off and are frankly ready to see what Jay Johnson's going to do to get it right. And I think everybody's very, very highly confident that he's going to make all the right moves, and it's going to be, I think, a highly eventful early part of the summer as he hits that transfer portal.
I think there's been 3 or 4 games, Mike. They were 1 out away from Florida, I think, closing and winning the game 2 of that. They ended up losing that series 1 out of 3. Had an Arkansas lead, lost that game. Boy, this one was tough Friday night. 7-3, you get down to the end. And, yes, that old son of a gun, I don't want to call him a bad word tonight, but that umpire started to squeeze Griffin Herron. A 3-2 pitch right on the corner. It was no doubt a strike. He calls it a ball. Herring, unfortunately, couldn't locate and walk 2 more, and they end up getting the winning run right there on the walk-off crazy play. Malazzo's not had a great year catching. Travinsky's either hitting a home run or striking out, and Brady Neal, most people think, has a high probability of getting in the transfer portal. So there's going to be a lot of transition. Got to have 3 new catchers probably all gone. Jared Jones is old enough to be drafted. He's at 22 home runs, probably end up with 25. He's probably going to go. Obviously, Braswell will have a decision to make. And then,
well, he did say today he wants to come back.
Yeah, he wants to come back, so he'll probably come back. But once again, Mac Bingham has not been a plug and play. Ashton Larson leading the team in hitting. Of course, we know that Jay works harder and works that transfer portal, so he will get a lot of players. But this year, other quick thing I figured out is I talked to Mike today, and I gave him some spicy comments about LSU baseball. Wes Johnson was the pitching coach here last year. He's got Georgia at number 9 in the country, and they've hit 133 home runs. Charlie Condon, I think, is up to about 34.
I mean, is he up for Coach of the Year with that?
I think.
I mean, the turnaround he's done at Georgia.
I think he's definitely going to get in there and some consideration. But the whole point of it is that it's hard to repeat. I don't care. LSU baseball, 96, 97. Other than track and field, the only team out at LSU to ever go back-to-back natties.
All right, let's dive into some comments. And if you're enjoying the show, please hit that like button. It really helps us with the YouTube algorithm. And Todd Davis, first comment says, Suggs commits with an exclamation point. Total 42 tackles, 14.5 tackle for loss, 8 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and 9 passes deflective. 247 had him as a 3-star transfer player. I think that's probably right. Look, you need bodies, bottom line. Whatever solution they come up with up front to make a go of it, you've got to have some bodies, one for practice, one to spell and rotate. And, you know, and we're going to see. Buddy mentioned Don McKinley over 300 pounds. Look, one thing that they can do once they sign, they immediately are allowed to share workout programs and things that they want the players to be doing on their own. Of course, he was not a midterm graduate, but I assure you, I bet you there's a good chance it's probably good weight. That doesn't mean that he's going to be ready to go or you know, a guy who still needs time to develop. The guy that I'm really looking out for, not to say he's going to be a guy this year, but there's always the bodies that you see of high school recruits that you just know when they get on campus, particularly at LSU with that big grocery getter up front of the building that are going to put on a lot of weight in a hurry. And I think Kalaj Cobbins is going to be that guy.
Yeah,
I think once Kalaj Cobbins gets on campus,
well, he was out there in the spring.
I'd like to know what his true weight is, and then what it's going to be in June.
Look, in August. Linebackers out in the spring, Devon Keys, Singleton, and Kalaj Cobbins. That all LSU is going to be set up much better at linebackers. I was just telling Mike before the show, I think that all of us have to have a wait and see because of this one statement. We don't know what Bo Davis is going to get out of the D linemen, Peoples out of the edge rushers, Blake Baker overall coordinating and coaching linebackers, Jake on the safeties, and Corey on the corners. Special teams with Slade Nagel. So really, when you have 60% new coaches, I think it's a crapshoot, and you throw it out there and you hope it sticks. But nobody knows right now what they're going to be able to get out of that talent. But it was very problematic not even having the physical bodies, and I think that's what we were all worried about. Frank just did not have a lot of experienced talent, and so we'll see how far they can come from April. Then now we're at May 15. June, when do the freshmen come in and the transfers? June?
I don't know what the arrival date is, but it's usually late May or early June.
First week of June. So you got about 60 days to get them ready before you go to camp.
Yep. Roger Ramjic. Hey, Mike and Buddy, always enjoy the show. Go Tigers. Thank you for that. Todd Davis would have go Tigers. Spectrum Well Care can't forget Bomb D. BOMD. Wilk, are the home games going to be night games? We don't know that yet. And that'll be as the season goes on. 2 weeks out, you'll find those out on a lot of them. Spectrum Well Care. Can't forget Bo Davis is known as a great developer of defensive linemen. DLs will get better. I think so. James Moore, hey, Mike and Buddy. Mike, if the offense has a good season, Hankton is going to be a hot commodity. Buddy, do you think Baker will show different coverage and blitz because of the defensive front?
There is no doubt. He has said all along that they're going to be a very aggressive defense. They're going to disguise. Look, if you want to see what they did with Missouri, put the bowl tape in, 14-3 Missouri. I've never seen Ohio State play in this modern day and be held to 3 points. I know it's a meaningless bowl game, but I'm excited because last year there wasn't a lot of disguising. And look, let's be honest. You got to find the fit for Harold Perkins. You got to unleash Whit Weeks. You got to get Greg Penn to do what he does best. Your edge guys coming in have got to be a factor. And you've got to have enough D tackle and nose guard play so that people don't run right up the A gap and stone you with the run up the gut. And then, of course, as we know, that was the cluster last year at cornerback and safety. So once again, I think we're all just kind of shooting in the stars and hoping that we hit something. But from right now to August 1, how much do those guys want it? Do they want it in the weight room? Do they want it bonding? Do they want it pushing the tires, running up the levee? It is not just done on paper. So the leadership with Will Campbell and Emory and all those guys, but who are the leaders on defense that's going to get the most out of that football team this year?
Yeah. It's going to be one of those deals where we're going to wonder in August, do you think we get to see a full scrimmage?
You know, I went back through on some of the notes, and
what did we get last August?
I think we got some of it, but it was vanilla. But we'll see. I mean, look, I kind of begged out on Mike with the spring, but basically, folks, we were seeing a lot of drills and very little work we're all have this insatiable appetite to show you what they look like, and you see it physically. But from a scheme and all of that, and of course, 60-something plays. And so really, you're not going to know what the LSU football team really is made of until about 6:30 on September 1.
Barry Barbier, how many existing players will be headed out? Neal, Kling, Johnson? Yeah, well, I don't know if
we don't want to sit there and name it. I mentioned with Brady Neal because I've heard that from 3 or 4 people, and he's been injured.
I think you need Neal to come back, but you also need to go to the portal and get one.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Jay, look, they do a great job of recruiting, and we all know they've got a couple of studs, Mike. See, here's the problem with Jay. If you go heavy into the high school recruiting, a lot of those guys that you get are going to go pro. And so you got to have some backups. But if there's anybody can fix it from a body standpoint, he will get it. I think the biggest problem is that you've had 3 pitching coaches in 3 years, and I don't think the light has ever come on with Nate Yeske and his pitching staff right now. They just don't seem to be on the same page.
Barry Barbier also adds Suggs would be second string at Southeastern, or Nichols third round at UL Monroe. Third team at UL Monroe. Look, I get it. He's a Division II guy. He's got some nice stats. But let's see. It's one of those deals where, like I said, all November and throughout, it's one of those positions where it's at a premium. And if you combine December and this spring period and spring period, how many defensive tackles were actually in the portal that are legit starters in the SEC? Was there 4, 5 tops? You're really looking for bodies, and I think they've got one here, and we'll see how it plays out.
I want to at least see what the guy looks like on the LSU campus, what he looks like in the uni. Barry, you probably are a little more advanced than all of us and know whether he would fit. I think Jared Verse came over from a small place and pretty damn good for Florida State. Ended up going in the first round not long ago. Brandon Fiske, also another kid. It doesn't matter if you're a small school. I think the thing that people have to understand is that Bo Davis is a better developer of talent than a recruiter of talent.
Well, and I'll tell you where I'm also willing to give a benefit of doubt is Michigan, Kentucky, and others wanted him as well.
That's
Wisconsin.
Right. That's right.
So,
but anyway, look, it's not and Mike made a point about Walter Nolan in the early period. Okay. We did not know what was going to happen with some of the guys, and maybe they played that a little bit wrong. But bottom line is that look, you're going to have enough bodies. I guess what I'm saying is Bo Davis and those guys are going to have to work their ever-loving ass off this summer if they want to be represented.
And it just can't be Bo Davis, because look, while Bo Davis, I'm going to say it, while Bo Davis is known as a developer, he is not known as a great recruiter.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a whole lot of myths about a lot of assistant coaches all the time. Okay. He is a very good developer, but he's also never walked into a high school where he wasn't wearing a premium brand on his polo shirt.
Mm-hmm.
He's been at Alabama, Texas, and now LSU. He's never been at Southern Miss. He's never, I don't want to pin all that on him, but it needs to be an all hands on deck. They've all got to combine their forces and help bring in some defensive linemen, because I can tell you, leading up to him getting hired and this whole new staff, there's a whole lot of people in that building that are still there that were dropping the ball, and that's why you're in the situation you're in. Well, and you had a combination of bad luck, Louisiana not giving you what you need at the position and making it easy on you. And as you talk about how many years in a row with new defensive line coaches, it's been one thing after another. So now it's time to get on the right track. And again, you're looking at state of Louisiana for the class of 25, where we're in right now. And is there even a defensive lineman in Louisiana or even a edge rusher that's on the verge of getting an offer from LSU? They've got to get it done out of state again. So this summer is going to be vitally important for that.
Yeah,
for not only Bo Davis, but Peoples.
All I was trying to say earlier, though, is that you never know when you're going to hit a home run in the portal. Now, Jaden Daniels probably got X amount of dollars, but it wouldn't be – he'd be getting a lot more if he was coming at LSU this year than 2 years ago. But Jaden Daniels just won the Heisman Trophy, and oh, by the way, he's going to get guaranteed about $24 million, and his contract's $38 million. And I want somebody out there to raise your freaking hand if you thought when you saw Jaden Daniels come on the campus and you saw this skinny-ass little guy running fast and throwing the deep ball but not doing a lot of other things good, if you thought he was going to go as far as he went 2 years. Coaching and how bad they want it, we don't know that right now. You got to wait and see for the development, because it's a changing landscape, because, Mike, the old-fashioned way of getting recruits and keeping them and 3 years and then some 4 and 5, with this portal and NIL, that's all changed. It's year to year now.
Chance Babin asks, what is more disappointing or shocking, LSU or Florida baseball? I've asked Kendall Rogers that question in roundabout ways multiple times when we do our segments. We'll do another batter up tomorrow. Got a lot to get squeezed in tomorrow. But yeah, it's I'd have to go LSU, wouldn't you?
Both, of course, those teams in the championship, Mississippi State and Ole Miss, after their championships, did not make the tournament. So, gut feeling, you think they get in the tournament or no? No. I'm on the fence. I don't think they'll sweep. But, by the way, a little tidbit for you folks. If LSU finishes 12th as the 12th seed, you play the last
We
game.
need you to say no along with me, because that means they'll sweep.
Well, okay.
Okay.
If
I can get you to say no, they're going to sweep.
Well, no, I don't think they're going to get in the tournament unless they kick it up a notch. Now, Mike told me, Jay Johnson at the press conference said, we're a top 15 team. So I took some notes just to rebuke that a little bit. Against Texas A&M, the number 2 RPI team, LSU actually beat them 2 out of 3. Against Arkansas, the number 4 RPI, didn't have much luck. Tennessee got swept. Bama, 1 out of 3. Mississippi State, 1 out of 3. They beat Xavier 2 out of 3. Vandy, 1 out of 3. Florida, 1 out of 3. They are 9-20 against teams that are in the RPI top 30. And Coach Johnson is lobbying. He's trying to tell these people we're better than our record shows it. But
I mean, does he think he's going to break that 13-game win marker that's been out there? Do you think he's going to move them on that?
Well, no. I mean, for them to get to 13, they've got to sweep I mean,
Yeah.
they haven't swept all year. And, the other killer, they're 1-8 on the final game of the weekend series. And 4 of those 8 losses have been by 10 runs or more. So Brian Holland and myself, we've been talking about it. We thought Kate Anderson, Javen Coleman, all those lefties, they have not come up. And Thatcher Hurd, I don't know what's going on, but he didn't even pitch last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of craziness with the pitching and the bullpen.
All right, Hal Jubin with a question. Basketball recruiting wise, men and women, what is the latest? Been very quiet on the women's front. I will have some men's stuff probably tomorrow. I've got something, but I have to hold on to it. But we should have something tomorrow.
All right, good. I'm having John Brady on the show, and of course he does a great job with Chris on the call, and they have gotten a bunch of guards and a bunch of shooters, and they retained Jalen Reed and Terrell Ward, which you were worried about getting grabbed up, but they got to get a couple bigs.
Yep. Go Tigers says we can't convert a few O linemen to defensive linemen. Yeah, that doesn't work. That never works.
Well, look, Kimo McAnally and his family have been big time supporters on TigerBait. And McAnally family, I am pulling for him. I think
I am too. I mean, good for him.
Big thing, though,
he's being the team guy. And I'd love for it to work.
But these guys stand up. And when you play tall, this is the problem with Mason Smith. He stood up and guys got up underneath him with the leverage. But I'm pulling for him. But this is a big summer. Chemo's got to do it in the weight room and working out. He's got to be in the best shape of his life. Because now if he don't get his chance to get reps this year, then he's not going to get any reps.
Hal Jubin wants to know what time you got Brady on tomorrow.
2:15.
There you go. All right. And you got to go to the Apple Store and the Google Play Store and download the Pelican Sports app. And you can listen to Buddy every Monday through Friday, 1 to 3 o'clock. And he has great guests every day.
Pelican Broadcasting, and hit the live Pelican Sports Radio, and we'll give you some stuff. We're getting ready to get into the dull time, but look, I wasn't trying to disagree with you on purpose, but now that I thought about it, it looks like they're going to have to win a couple of games in the SEC tournament. So right now, and you're going to ask Kendall tomorrow.
If you don't sweep this weekend, you probably have to win the tournament.
Yeah, at least get into finals. So ask Kendall tomorrow what they have to do, in his opinion, if they take 2 or 3 from Ole Miss this weekend.
Absolutely. Okay. All right. It's let's hear from Mike and Alex.
Hi, I'm Michael.
I'm Alex.
At Pride Roofing, we handle commercial and residential work.
TPO, shingle, and metal inventory.
We got it. Property still in disarray from the recent hailstorms. Insurance claims?
No problem. Though you know Pride Roofing is the official roofer at TigerBait.com.
In fact, notify TigerBait and we'll give you a free roof inspection. And on top of that, you get a free year subscription. Call 855-PRIDE-16. Se habla español.
All right, there it is, 855-PRIDE-16. Give them a call. Say TigerBait. When you call for your free roof inspection, they're going to give you TigerBait Premium free for a year. Cannot beat that deal. A lot of roofing companies out there, like Buddy says, each and every week, and nobody does it better than Pride. They stand by their work. They're going to be quick to get to you, and there's no builder-grade components that are going to go to into your roof, and it's residential or commercial, of course. Based in Hammond, and a new office in Baton Rouge, Houma, New Orleans, and ever expanding, really big on the North Shore. A lot of bad weather has come through. Give them an opportunity. Let them give them a chance to win your roofing business. I think you'll be happy.
Always a free roofing inspection. I called Mike Kirby, came up, got on my roof. We're trying to determine the hail damage, wind damage, whatever. He's going to walk you through the process. If you get your adjuster out there, he will make sure to get there. They go to bat for you, and they do it from A to Z. They get there early. They take care of their business with the finest of products. And as always, wrap it up. We talk about sharpening the pencil. Sometimes you come in and 300 or 400 more. Give them an opportunity, folks. Say, look, I want to do business with you, but we got to sharpen the pencil. And they appreciate that, because the more you talk about them, the more people are going to understand PFM and many of his relatives, many of our listeners on all these shows. Give them an opportunity. That's all they ask. The roof over your head is just as important as the roof over theirs. 275-2041. If Mike does not pick up, leave him a message, 855-PRIDE-16. And we're hoping that this year when we do these shows, we will talk with great pride about the LSU defensive tackle spot. Hey.
Yeah, Coach Ken asked a question that I ought to know, and I don't. But I thought they added more to it because of transfer portal. How many official visits per year in football do you get? For the longest time, it was 55, but I want to say they expanded that with the portal. But just Google it. You'll get the answer. That's what I would do if we were at a commercial break. I would Google it for you. But Barry Barbie wants to know, did you get a new roof or not? You're waiting to find out. Right, buddy?
I did not just yet. I am waiting through hurricane season. And see, that's the great thing about it. They talk you through these things. I'm not a roofing expert, but he is. And that's why we ask you to trust him.
Did you get to watch Skeens on Saturday?
I did watch Skeens. I did watch Livy Dunn with the interview. And, man, pretty impressive. The Cubbies, unfortunately, came back and that game went into extra innings or whatever. So he had no decision. But, Mike, it's still amazing. 17 of his pitches were over 100 miles an hour, 7 strikeouts. Did give up a dinger and a couple of hits, but
what does he have, like 8 of the top 9 mile-per-hour pitches or something like crazy?
He is going to be a phenomenon, and the great thing about it is that him and Dylan Cruz and all those guys will continue to rep. And in fact, one of the things that Jay, I don't know if you caught this, but Jay was asking, they were asking Jay about Skeens, and Gilbo's doing a story on him, and he went out of his way to make sure people knew he did not put him in that final game. They had the big lead, but Skeens wanted to pitch, and if you remember,
he did.
But he made a concerted effort to tell everybody, we did not throw him, and I want you to understand, I cherish your kid's left arm or right arm, and I'm not going to use it for my benefit that might hurt him moving forward. And I thought that was a big point coming out of his presser today.
Yep.
Skeens wanted to pitch in that wrap-up.
Yeah, he did. I asked him, and I think it was kind of tying into what happened Friday night. And I said, because I don't watch Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
And so I tune in to watch Skeens, and I'm seeing the graphic where they have the square, the rectangular, and the pitches going in and giving the miles per hour and the location of the pitches over the plate. And I asked Coach Johnson today, do you think that that's something you would ever see in college baseball, that type of deal? And he said, well, the SEC would be the first if it ever happened. And I don't know if it's an expensive piece of software to do it, or having the camera set up in center field, whatever it takes to do it. I just wonder if college baseball would ever go that route, just because they're worried that the umpires would face scrutiny that they don't want. But
yeah, well, put the tape in the 9th inning on the loss, 8-7 loss on Friday. I guarantee you're going to see a guy in a red jacket from the REC, the Red Elephant Club. And I don't know how much he stuffed in his pants, but LSU got squeezed with the strike zone in the 9th inning. But it's not the first time Bama has screwed LSU in sports.
Yeah.
And it won't be the last. Ridiculous, that call. That was a strike. Everybody in the park saw it.
Yeah. Anything else notable that you heard from Jay Johnson today?
No, I just think that, he's trying to lobby for his team. And I think you could tell it was woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Now, when I told you that, you got spicy, but after hearing him say it, did you take it differently?
Yeah, I took it differently. But look, you got to understand, the coach has to bring you. How many times you say positivity? We made a concerted effort. We're not going to be negative. We're not going to go in the locker room and say, you know what, you guys, you suck. You're trying to bring out the best of guys. They're not playing like they did last year. But 3 or 4 weeks ago, you might remember this, he also said, we would be number 1 in every conference if we wasn't in the SEC.
Yeah, he said he maintains that.
And that is totally ludicrous. That's ludicrous. Just like they're not a top 15 team this year. He might say that, but results prove differently. I'm sorry.
And by the way, he mentioned Gilbo. Gilbo shows up about 3 or 4 minutes after Jay's already started. maybe a minute or two after Jay's already started, and I'm immediately thinking, okay, am I getting caught flat-footed that there's some controversy or there's some something going on behind the scenes that I don't know that's about to break? Because that's the first thought of every media member in the room when Gilbo shows up, that the pot's either going to get stirred or there's some controversy. But he's actually doing a legit nice piece on Paul Skeen, so that's why he was there.
No, don't beat up Gilbo. He told me you were one of his top 3 media friends in the whole business. So,
and I always tell Gilbo I'm his only friend in the media.
Look, you were mentioning he came in 2 minutes late. It reminded me of the redhead from The Advocate from Texas, Leah Van, who's now back over in Houston covering the Stros, when she showed up late for a BK press conference. I think he went early that day. And she had a little smart ass comment about like, well, if you'd have won, maybe I would have gotten here in time, and everybody went crazy. But no, it is uncomfortable when you walk in and the coach is holding court.
Kenny Haynes says, we are a starter away from this season being totally different. And yeah, what if Hurd would have picked up where he left off last year? What a difference that might have made. I mean, there's a whole lot of what ifs. Guys that you thought were going to give you more than they have. We probably talked over and over about Paxton Kling and how he came into the program, what the thought was he was going to be. Can he get there? Very interesting. Kindercamp with a super chat. Thank you for that. I said, would Quincy Wiggins start this year at LSU? I don't think so. But I do want to see what he looks like at Colorado. And
okay.
What if Quincy has a great season at Colorado? He's eligible for the draft. And so, or does he have?
This kid didn't play enough football to blow up and be in the draft after this year.
No,
come on. He played a year and a half, 2 years in high school. We saw him. He's built like.
What if he has a great year for Colorado this upcoming season? You can't say that about him, and then all of a sudden say that Suggs is going to be an All-American because he's getting coaches.
Well,
why can't he?
I didn't say Suggs was going to be an All-American. I'm saying nobody knows how good Suggs will be, and nobody knows how good Quincy Wiggins.
Well, nobody knows how good Quincy Wiggins is going to be. That's what I'm saying. I mean, but what if he has a pretty nice jump? He can always come back.
Yeah.
I mean, because there's no rules now.
Somebody.
I could see Wiggins. I could see Wiggins coming back to Baton Rouge.
By the way, speaking of Colorado, they open up the college football season on the first Thursday of the year and host Grand Valley State. So interesting. If Suggs had not come here, I think that's the opponent. Some really good games in the opening weekend. And, of course, we know that Notre Dame and Texas A&M on the nighttime schedule on Saturday night, LSU USC on Sunday, Georgia with a big game, and of course, Florida and Miami. You agree with me, Billy? Billy is not going to make it at Florida. I think.
I wonder if he's going to be the coach when they play LSU.
Yeah, it's a question. It could be a question.
Yep. PCG says Buddy is hysterical. Yeah, Buddy's always going to bring the laughs. And the facts. No, he's giving you a compliment.
I know what I'm saying.
Spectrum Wellcare says Hurd was the biggest surprise to me this year. And Chance Babin on the Hurd again says Thatcher Hurd had such an unexpected drop off this year. Is he even draftable, or will he return?
A lot of the scouts will tell you he's got some really good stuff. The man's 6'4", 230. But ask Stark to answer this question. Who on the LSU baseball team has had a better year this year than last year? And here's what we came up with. Jared Jones, of course, was just DH, and he's played first base. Leads LSU with 22 home runs. Griffin Herring, I think, has had a better year as a bullpen. Who else there? There's only a couple guys.
Would you say Ackenhausen?
Ackenhausen has not had a great year considering what he had last year. Hurd hadn't. Gavin Guidry has only found it lately. I mean, you talk about what the guys did this year. Malazzo, Travinsky, and Neal have all been up and down with I understand what Jay's trying to do, and I hope that maybe they can catch lightning in a bottle. But man, it is hard to watch LSU every weekend, especially on that final game, because they're continuing to make the same mistakes.
Yeah. All right, guys. I want to talk about Alumni Hall and tell you about the best place to get all your LSU fan gear, Alumni Hall. Shop at their store off Blue Bonnet in Perkins Row, or shop online at alumnihall.com. They've got it all. All the LSU Nike gear, Champion, Johnny O, On Reserve, Peter Millar, Southern Tide, and more. They've got the nice polos you've been looking for, hats, Yetis, all your LSU baseball jerseys. They've got them in every color. The U sizes are their most popular. All the kids want the gold jersey. We can have a debate over which one you like the best, the white pinstripes or the purple. But shop with them. You can earn rewards on future purchases with their Hall Pass Rewards program, and use the discount code TigerBait, all one word. And you either at the register if you're at the store in person or online, and you're going to get 10% off your purchase. Go shop with my friends at Alumni Hall and use that TigerBait code to save. Beautiful store, jam-packed. Let me know in the chat if you made it out there Friday night for the gymnastics girls that were out there, including Haley Bryant. I imagine they might have had a pretty decent crowd, although they were going up against baseball. But again, they're in the NIL space, and good for them being in the NIL space. Bringing those girls out there for the true NIL experience and meet and greets and signing autographs and posters. Alumni Hall giving back to the community and involved with the LSU NIL.
Yep. Sierra Ballard also was out there with Haley and some others. She has declared that she is coming back, and she is known probably for doing the best gritty on the LSU gymnastics. You know, they can all dance, Mike. And once again, kudos to Jay Clark and everybody involved all these years to finally see LSU win a natty.
Do you agree with me? I mean, I brought it up on your show earlier today. Do you agree with me that while football drives the truck and is the moneymaker, it's the women athletes that are more prone to do better outside of the collective with NIL?
Look, you know, that's a tough
because of their marketing ability, the cosmetics.
That's a tough question now with Libby Dunn and Angel Reese and Flaugier. I mean, even Haley Van Lith brought in a bunch of NIL money. It just depends. I mean, you know, like
do you think you just have to have personalities and beauty?
Yeah. And a lot of people tease LSU fans and say, "Oh, you're a gymnastics team school now," or "You're women's basketball when they want it." But I think that's a beautiful thing about it, Mike, what you're just hitting on. The women at LSU and that come into LSU with NIL know about the brand. They're one of the first ones in New York to have the billboard with Libby. And I think that when you sit there and say you can reap just the same thing as a football player or a male athlete, that tells you how far we've come.
Yep.
And I think
I just think they have more products that they can be ambassadors for.
Yeah. Angel Reese, I told you the little 9-year-old grandbaby, Evie Claire Babbitt, we give her a shout out tonight, but that's Sarita's youngest granddaughter. She sent me about a 5-minute thing where Angel Reese was going through the whole thing. Makeup, eyebrows, hair, the whole 9 yards. 9 years old, learning all this stuff from Angel Reese, who, by the way, those companies want those girls. It's national brand. That's why they can leave LSU. They've got national brands and sponsors for the rest of their life unless they screw up. Absolutely. Kindercamp with another super chat says, if I'm LSU, I'm offering Jacob Bradford, would only help with Blaine, and he's a baller, as do other LSU defensive linemen. Bradford, that's the Catholic High kids? Yep. I know Blaine is very, very, very highly touted. I am not familiar with Jacob, his brother. I've seen Jacob a little bit, and they're going to be seeing him some more real soon. He's a D lineman? Yeah. Catholic? Mm-hmm. What's his, height and weight? No, I don't. Okay. But we shot Catholic a good bit last year. And U-High's got a bunch of talent. Catholic's got a bunch of talent. It's good when you have the Baton Rouge and the New Orleans schools once again being feeder schools. Yeah. And of course, you talked about Elijah Haven over at Dunham. He's one to watch here. I have that coming for you. Was so busy today.
we've actually got a camera that was out at Car at Destrehan this evening. I'm gonna have a ton of footage coming for you in the coming week from that. I got so much footage to cut up from that and interviews. We were out at that one last night. I was at Dunham, and Matt Flynn was out there. Matt Flynn, former LSU quarterback, national championship quarterback 2007, is tutoring Elijah Haven, the class of 27 quarterback at Dunham. Man, what a fantastic kid. Already got offers from Ole Miss, Baylor, Texas Tech, and others. And Joe Sloan is really involved with him. No offer from LSU yet. Camp this summer. We're going to see how that all plays out. But LSU's really poised at quarterback-wise with Underwood at midterm. And then Dia Bell is going to be making an announcement in the next month or so. And so want to get one good one every year. And so I have a feeling that your class of 27 is going to be right here in Baton Rouge. And so I got a lot of stuff coming on him. Thank you for that, Kindercamp. Kenny Haynes with a super chat. He says, I see LSU as a contender next year if we get a reliable catcher, a better shortstop, a new third baseman, and develop at least 3 starters. That's a lot. That's a pretty tall list.
Oh, me. Look, that's the good thing about Jay Johnson, okay? And let's give Jay a lot of credit. He's not going to have you and I talking about, man, they really missed on a starting pitcher or whatever. They're not going to let this D-tackle thing carry over to baseball. But the problem that you have, Matt Bingham, we thought he's a plug-and-play guy from Arizona. He started out good, hadn't done much lately. Paxton Klink, really highly touted from Pennsylvania, hadn't evolved. You talk about Brady Neal, and I know you said he wants to come back. I don't know if he's mentioned it or people are telling me he won't be back. Jared Jones is probably going to go major league in the draft. And so Stephen Mullen's the real deal. Ashton Larson's the real deal. Jake Brown's the real deal. But you're going to lose a lot of this talent. So, but if there's anybody that knows how to work the portal and bring in recruits, the problem is we said on the show today, high school recruits, the really good ones, going to take the money.
Thank you, Kenny. And you just kind of hit on it. And it's, as bad as this season has been, is upsetting. And you're now looking at LSU team that the odds are highest that they won't be in postseason play. It's made no hit on Jay Johnson. Like the confidence level on LSU fans that he's going to kick it in a gear and get it right is not faltered at all. Now, certainly there's been some guys, why did he do this? Why did he start that guy? I mean, you're always going to have that. But I don't talk to any hardcore LSU baseball fan, and I know you take callers and have Ben McDonald and Todd Walker on your show. Everybody's just like, man, I can't, and because I know I am, I can't wait to see what he's going to do next month, in the portal to get it right. What buttons is he going to push?
And that's the tough part about this pitching staff this year. If you bring in an Aiden Moffett and he goes 3 innings, doesn't get up a run, you look like a genius. But if he gives up a couple of hits and all of a sudden your deficit now goes to 4 or 5 runs, everybody's saying, well, why did you bring him in? And so, look, peaking at the right time, coaches don't like to hear it, but that's what they've got to do. And I think they just need, like, if they bust out and beat Ole Miss 14-4 tomorrow night, then they got a chance to sweep. But, Mike, we just have not seen. They've been so close to finishing off games, Florida and other games, that until they do it, you have that doubt.
All right. Hey, Tiger fans, get ready for dispensary-grade gummies delivered discreetly to your door with KnowNaturals. Our gummies are super fast-acting. In just 15 to 30 minutes, experience a new level of wellness without needing a doctor's recommendation. Crafted with dispensary-grade, top-shelf quality cannabinoids, adaptogens, and terpenes, KnowNaturals offers a variety of gummies tailored to your needs. Try BLISS with Delta-9 THC for a euphoric lift, energy with CBC and cordyceps mushrooms for a natural boost, Focus with CBD, CBG, cordyceps, and lion's mane mushrooms for clear-headed concentration. LUCID with CBDV and blue lotus for serene mindfulness or rest, which I've used several times with great effect. With CBD, CBDV, and CBN for a deep, restful slumber. Mix them for an even more elevated experience. Visit shop.knownaturals.com to order today and use TigerBait 10, all one word, for 10% off your order. Know your cannabinoids, know your experience, know naturals. And I see Dane is in the chat, and I know he tried BLISS, I think he said, Dane. If you would, Dane, let them know in the chat your experience with it and what other versions of it you bought, and if you which ones have you noticed anything with. But a lot of our subscribers on TigerBait have used that TigerBait 10 code and got some gummies, and they love them, and they work, and they're not expensive. I mean, these packs have 10 gummies each, and they're it's worth trying, particularly the rest. Don't use anything from the prescription that you have to that can get you addicted. Try something natural first before you go that route.
I asked you the question the last couple of weeks, would you turn the tube on when Caitlin Clark made her debut? You said, I don't know. I saw it promoted. I did watch a good part of the first half. I went back and watched a little bit of it. She did not have a good game, a tough opening. They lost by 20. She had 10 turnovers. But that's why I was looking at my phone. 2.1 million watched that game. That's the most ever watching a WNBA game on ESPN last night.
Is that a one and done? Is that a one and done, you think? They tune in for the first one and they don't come back?
No, I think that her and Angel and all, they have built up a fan base that is more than just a local college, and they have gone national with their brand. I think I just looked at Angel had 12 points and 7-8 rebounds, but they were close game. And I do think, but as far as watching every game, you know, it's a good question you ask. Is it a one and done? Did you see what it's all about? And do you go back? And that will be, of course, answered in due time.
And I saw where one of the teams did play at South Carolina, right, in Columbia for an exhibition game, one of the WNBA teams.
I don't know.
I think that did happen.
I just know this was
the Chicago Sky need to play an exhibition game in Baton Rouge in the PMAC.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But I mean, the season started now, so
yeah. But that needs to be in the future.
Yeah,
that's how you do it. You move some games around, and particularly when you've got stars from major programs that are drawing. You know, rent the PMAC out and play an exhibition there. All right. And Dane Bergeron says, I tried BLISS and rest. Rest works great. There you go.
I wonder if he combined Dr. Daniels with the consultation on that. Snake couldn't do it without you, Shark. I know a lot of people appreciate you sponsoring the Great Batter Up Show with Mike and Kendall. And
he adds, don't take KnowNaturals and watch a Marvel movie.
Okay. I can relate to that.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. Adrian Bailey, Aja Wilson, and the Vegas Aces played at South Carolina.
Okay.
That needs to me. They should do that.
Yeah. And of course, the big news that kind of parallels that is Michaela Williams is going to have a game,
and I think that's good for LSU women's basketball too. That if they would come here,
but Michaela Williams is going to have a game at her spot. In November?
So, yeah,
Bossier City. So. I know Coach Markey likes to do that. She did it last year, of course, at Coppin State with Baltimore and Angel Reese. So no doubt it's a win-win.
All right. Anything else you want to add on the way out?
Meatloaf, I'm hoping to have queued up on Monday. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. As we said, if LSU finishes an 11 seed, they play Tuesday at 9:30. If they finish in the last seed at 12, they play at God knows what time, whether it be 8 or 8:30 or 9. And we will try to figure out what they're going to do in the baseball tournament. But LSU women's track, let's give them a shout out. They won the SEC, Dennis Shaver and the Lady Tigers. And I think they've got a chance to be the next LSU team to win a natty. So I'm going to go ahead and say it. If they don't drop the baton and they stay healthy, I think they've got a chance to win the natty with women's track.
All right,
That's a
everybody.
couple weeks away, though.
If y'all enjoyed the show, please hit that like button on the way out. And if you haven't subscribed already, please hit the subscribe button, notification bell. Go to tigerbait.com. Again, I've got a lot of LSU football recruiting film and interviews coming your way. A lot of stuff you're going to really enjoy. I think you're really going to enjoy Matt Flynn, the interview I did with him where he talks about Elijah, and but he also has a lot to say about Garrett Nussmeier and being on the Nuss bus. So check that out at tigerbait.com in the next day or two. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see y'all next week. Good night.